Fall armyworm, Spodoptera frugiperda, is a devastating pest of maize crop. This pest is recently being introduced in India and causing huge losses to maize crop. Fall armyworm is a native pest of South America. It's been introduced into Africa a couple of years back, started threatening the food security of African countries. This pest was identified in India, in Karnataka state, in the month of May 2018. Since then, it started appearing in many places. This Kharif season, this pest is found in thousands and thousands of acres of maize crop in South India. Fall armyworm has a life cycle of 30 days. The adult moth can travel about 100 kilometers in a single flight. An adult female moth can lay about 1000 eggs in a life cycle. Even though there are chemicals recommended to control this pest, but the experiences in South American countries says that this pest has a capacity to develop resistance quickly against any pesticide which is being used. Even though maize crop is a preferred host of fall armyworm, it can also affect more than 80 crops. The Indian Council of Agriculture Research had already released a pest alert on fall armyworm. Dr. Ramanaidu Ekalavya Foundation Krishi Vignana Kendra, Tuniki, Medak district in Telangana state, has come up with very simple, effective and innovative solution to manage this pest. The scientists of KVK Medak have tried different non-chemical options like soil, rock dust, charcoal powder, wood ash, Agni Astra, Ipomia concoction, salt, green chili solution, waste decomposer, etc. Among which application of soil in the whorls has given excellent result, followed by application of rock dust, charcoal, wood ash into the whorls. Soil can be directly applied in the whorls and then a little water can be poured. If it is raining, no need to pour water. The other method of application of soil, we can make a thick slurry of soil and it can be poured into the whorls. The next day after application, the activity of the larvae ceases. There were no frost material or excreta found in the whorls. The larvae slowly stops feeding and it will starve and it will die in next 3 or 4 days time. Meanwhile, the affected whorls will recover fast and they can emerge quickly. The youngest leaf will be fresh and healthy. This non-chemical, eco-friendly, simple method of managing fall armyworm gives multiple benefits. It is very cheap and economical for the small and marginal farmers. It will conserve the natural enemy populations in our ecosystems. We can avoid the use of poisonous chemical substances.
Hello viewers, welcome to another episode of our YouTube channel. As usual, we always talk about food security. Here, our demonstration site in Arua, our Arua Agriculture Organic Center. Our main aim here is to help farmers to improve their food security, and of course, when we talk about food security, maize is a key player. Maize here in the past we have been achieving yields between 8 to 12,000 kilos per hectare, which is outstanding comparing to the local reality. But That is on maize early planted. And maize planted lately, like this one here, planted in June, we are facing serious issues, and for sure we are not going to achieve such yield. What is our main issue here today? Our only issue, I would say, is the army foreborn. You see the damage that is causing in this field here, and this damage also is caused not only here in Arua or in West Nile, but in whole Uganda and the whole Sub-Sahara. Let's keep in mind that this army forewarn, it comes from the tropical areas, South America, including Brazil, which is one of the biggest maize producers in the world, and yet there they don't have such losses. What happened here in the last 3-4 years, since when this armyworm came to Africa or was introduced, the natural enemies from there did not join them. They didn't come to Africa. But some of them, they're still here. And here at Arua Organic Training Center, we have been fighting with this worm in different ways, not applying chemicals. In the beginning, in the early planting, we have been very successful by just throwing sand or dry soil on top of the maize, and it has been controlling the armyworms. But in this rainy season here now, as you can see, we are badly, the worms are really damaging our maize, and we have been spraying this. I'm sad to tell you that we have been spraying our maize with pesticide. I can't find this one, but the results, the control is very, very insignificant. Why? Because the worm itself, it's located in a very strategic position. It protects themselves by digging themselves down in the stalk, and very difficult to reach when you try to kill it with chemicals. Let me try to find one here. Okay, there you go. You see, when you spray here, it will not reach the worm itself, and therefore you can spray every week and no result is seen. Meanwhile, while you're spraying, you're killing also the local enemies. As our principle here at Arua Organic Training Center, we always try to find alternative methods to control pests. Today we are going to teach or demonstrate to you. As you can see, we are still going to use pesticide. Therefore, I'm using my protective gloves here to kill these insects. Let's keep in mind, the moth that lays eggs for the fall armyworms, literature says it travels up to 100 kilometers per night. And in their life cycle, it can lay up to 1,500 eggs. One adult can leave behind 1,500 new insects that in a few days or weeks are going to become adults and are going to start a new cycle. So one moth can lay 1,500 eggs. Therefore, it feeds also, a very important aspect, it feeds on over 80 different crops. Sorghum, cassava, tobacco, maize, any crop, cotton, it feeds on. And therefore, if you plant your maize and in a few days you will see it's infested, as we have our field here, heavily infested, and you spray it and there is no control. What we're going to show you today is a more environmentally friendly method where we prepare maize, where we prepare bait with maize flour, sugar and chemicals, and we apply this only on the top of the maize, so targeting only the worm that during the night will come out and feed on that bait. Our colleague here, Lester, is going to demonstrate how to prepare this mixture, this bait. Okay, Lester, please.
The components we have to prepare our bait are maize flour gotten from ground maize grain. Here we have 5 kgs for our instant, then 1 kg of sugar, which we are going to mix in the 5 kgs of the maize flour. This is going to act as a carrier in which we shall mix 25 ml of the chemical. We have to put it in water so that it can be evenly distributed in our mixture here, so that as I leave it here to settle, we had mixed a portion which is fine in texture, well uniformly mixed, not to be too fine as a powder, but to have a mixture that can easily be folded and applied onto the plant. My colleague will apply as I'm mixing this portion that we can apply on the rest of the field. Yeah. 5 kgs of this mixture is expected to cover an acre at a spacing of 80 by 20.
Well, we are dealing with chemicals, as I mentioned before, people. Therefore, we have to use gloves and we have to use a mask. I don't have a mask here, so therefore let me cover my nose because the smell is terrible. Let me go to the end of the line and let's try with this bait to control this insect that is causing such damage on our field. After mixturing, after preparing such mixture, it's very simple. You can see one handful like this. You just sprinkle on top of each maize plant. It doesn't take so long. Keep counting. You see one hand, you will be able to cover between 15 to 20 plants, depending on the amount of this bait that you put per plant. And this will be very effective. Keep in mind that the mixture of sugar and maize flour is attractive to this worm, and during the night it will come up and feed on this mixture. Of course, once the chemical is ingested by the insect, by the army fall worm, it will die. By doing this, you are not spraying the whole field and you are not killing the natural enemies, which is a very important aspect that we have to observe if you want to keep a balance between natural enemies and the pests that we want to control. By adopting such methods, people, we are securing our crop. We will ensure that we will harvest something, okay? And for sure, we will spend far less in chemicals and we will be causing far less damage to the environment itself. Thank you very much, viewers. Please follow us. If you have any question, inquire and we'll send you more details.
Hello, my name is James Locke. I'm a soils and crops consultant with the Noble Foundation in Ardmore, Oklahoma. What we're going to visit with you about today is fall armyworm control. Fall armyworms are a fairly common pest in many of our crops throughout the southern Great Plains and the United States. Now, they can occur on a wide variety of crops. Here in our area, we typically have the most trouble with them either on Bermuda grass, perhaps on crabgrass, or in small grain plantings that we use for grazing or grain production.
We planted approximately 160 acres. We spotted them in less than about 48 hours. We probably lost 3/4 crop on that. So that's about as devastating as I've seen it.
They don't overwinter in most parts of the United States. They start in typically South Texas or Mexico and move their way northwards with generation after generation.
In our area, I would start scouting for armyworms, usually sometime around the end of August.
They come in as an adult moth. The moth will lay eggs on the target plants. Those eggs then hatch out and there will be 6 larval stages, or what we call instars. The larval stage is what does all the damage to our plants. They consume the foliage. The way to identify a fall armyworm, first and foremost, would be if you can look on his head capsule, you'll see a fairly prominent inverted Y. And if you look on the last segment of his body, there's going to be 4 distinct dots. And that's the best way to identify a fall armyworm versus many of the other caterpillar species. This is the first visual injury symptom that you can tell you've got a armyworm infestation. The very first stages, they're too small to chew all the way through the leaf, so they just chew the surface off. This leaf here, you can see where the outer surface of the leaf has been chewed off and just left the white interior of the leaf. That's what we call window painting. This is the first injury symptom to scout for. The first 4 larval stages, they'll consume probably 20% of what they're going to consume during their entire life cycle. That's essentially before they're a ½ inch long. The last 2 larval stages, the 5th and 6th instars, they may grow to all the way to a length up to 1.5 inches long. As they move into the older instars, they're able to chew all the way through the leaf, may even chew all the way down to the leaf midrib, and that's when they cause the most severe damage. During these last 2 larval stages is when they consume about 75 to 80% of the total forage or biomass that they're going to consume during their entire larval lifespan. Once they've completed that 6th instar or stage, they will burrow into the soil, pupate for 10 days, 2 weeks, somewhere in that time range. emerge from the soil as a new moth and breed, lay eggs, and the entire life cycle starts over again. Control measures, there are a number of different insecticides, many of them in the pyrethroid class. Do a very good job on armyworms. We need to be able to spray it whenever they're less than 3/4 of an inch long. Those will give good control and contact activity at the time. Residual on the plant is very short, a matter of a day to 3 at the most probably. We also can use some of the carbamate materials, something like carbaryl 7. Chlorpyrifos or lorsban is one of the materials that an organophosphate that has good control on a lot of armyworm species. Malathion. One of the older chemicals is a product called Dimilin. Dimilin provides good control of very small worms. It's a insect growth regulator, very good environmental footprint. We have to spray it before those worms exceed a 1/2 inch in length. Anything bigger than that, and they will not get good control. Another new material is one called Prevathon. It provides good residual activity as well. They'll actually stop feeding virtually immediately on consumption, and then it'll take a few more days to die. The threshold really depends on both the cost of the chemical to control them and the value of that crop, what value it may have to you.
I will look at the area, how large the area is, and what kind of damage, what kind of population of worms we have, and kind of put some numbers on it and see if we need to go ahead and treat.
Typically in Bermuda grass or in forage grasses, we would say that 2 to 3 adult armyworms, 1/2 inch size or so, per square foot would be a common threshold. In small grains, when they're first coming up, 1 to 2 per linear foot of row would be a typical threshold. As the small grains get bigger and bigger, then they can stand more defoliation without permanent injury. Regardless of what insecticide is chosen, make sure to read and follow the label directions. Each one of these insecticides has a different requirement as far as pre-harvest interval, grazing restrictions, notifications, things like that are required in order to use those materials according to label regulations.
कृषि क्षेत्रमा कार्यरत सम्पूर्ण कृषकहरू र कृषिसँग सम्बन्धित सरोकारवाला सबैमा प्लान्ट क्वारेन्टाइन एवं विषादी व्यवस्थापन केन्द्र र खाद्य तथा कृषि संगठन नेपाल समर्पण गर्दछ। जलवायु परिवर्तन, कृषि एवं वनजन्य उत्पादनहरूको विश्वव्यापी ओसार प्रसार र मानव तथा पारवहनहरूको आवागमनका क्रममा बाली बिरुवामा लाग्ने विभिन्न प्रकारका बाली शत्रुहरू नयाँ ठाउँमा भित्रने, स्थापित हुने र बाली बिरुवाहरूमा क्षति पुर्याउने क्रम बढिरहेको छ। गत 2 वर्ष अघिदेखि नेपालमा अत्यन्त मिचाहा स्वभावको अमेरिकन फौजी किरा फाल आर्मी वर्म मकै बालीमा देखा परेको र व्यापक नोक्सानी गरिरहेको हुँदा यस वृत्तचित्रमा उल्लेख भए बमोजिम पहिचान, अनुगमन र व्यवस्थापन गरी क्षति न्यूनीकरण गर्न अनुरोध गर्दछौं। फल आर्मी ओम एक मिचाहा प्रवृत्ति र आक्रामक स्वभावको किरा हो, जसले मुख्य रूपमा मकै बालीमा क्षति गर्दछ र समयमा नै व्यवस्थापनमा ध्यान नदिँदा कहिलेकाहीँ सम्पूर्ण बाली नै गुमाउनु पर्ने हुन्छ। यस किराको नियन्त्रणका लागि यसको समयमै पहिचान गर्नु जरुरी हुन्छ। कसरी चिन्ने त? यो किराले अण्डा, लार्भा, प्युपा र वयस्क गरी 4 अवस्थामा आफ्नो जीवन चक्र पूरा गर्दछ। खेतबारीमा मकै उम्रेदेखि नै यसको प्रकोप हुन सक्ने भएकोले नियमित रूपमा अनुगमन गरी किराको उपस्थिति र त्यसले गरेको क्षतिको आकलन गर्ने र किराको उपस्थिति र क्षति देखिएमा समयमा नै व्यवस्थापन गर्नुपर्दछ। झुण्डमा पारिएका हल्का पहेँला वा खैरा अण्डाहरू पातको तलमाथि डाँठमा हेर्ने, यदि पाइएमा तिनीहरूलाई तुरुन्तै नष्ट गर्ने। बालीलाई क्षति पुर्याउने अवस्था भनेको लार्भा हो। यसको पहिचान गर्दा टाउकोमा उल्टो वाइ आकारको चिन्ह, ढाडमा फिक्का रङका 3वटा समानान्तर धर्का तथा पेटको अन्तिमतिर 8औं खण्डमा वर्गाकार रूपमा रहेका 4वटा ठूला र गाढा कालो थोप्ला भएका खैरा रङका भएको यकिन गर्ने। कहिलेकाहीँ लार्भा नदेखिन सक्छ, तर त्यसले गरेको क्षति देख्न सकिन्छ। पातमा विभिन्न आकारका सिसाको झ्याल जस्ता आकृतिहरू तथा मसिना सियोले घोचे जस्ता प्वालहरू र गुबोमा लार्भाहरू छैनन् यकिन गर्ने। हुर्किसकेको मकैमा गुबोका वरिपरिका पातमा लाम्चो आकारका अनियमित प्वालहरू तथा च्यातिएको जस्तो स्वरूप भएका क्षति तथा काठको धुलो जस्तो ताजा हल्का पहेँला बिष्टा छैन यकिन गर्ने। मकैको बोट बढ्दै गएपछि यसले मकैको गुबो, धान चमर, मकैको घोगामा पनि आक्रमण गर्ने भएकोले क्षतिको आकलन गर्ने। यो किराको लार्भाको सानो अवस्थामा नै नियन्त्रण गर्न सकिएन भने लार्भा ठूलो हुँदै गएपछि यसको नियन्त्रण गर्न कठिन हुन्छ। यसको व्यवस्थापनको लागि एकीकृत शत्रुजीव व्यवस्थापन पद्धति अपनाइएन भने रासायनिक विषादीले मात्र व्यवस्थापन गर्न कठिन हुन्छ। त्यसकारण यसको नियन्त्रणका लागि मकै उम्रिन थालेपछि यसको उपस्थिति थाहा पाउन बाली निरीक्षण गर्न थाल्नु पर्दछ। यो निरीक्षण कार्य नियमित रूपमा मकै बाली प्रजनन अवस्थामा नपुगुन्जेल गर्नुपर्दछ। बालीको निरीक्षण गर्दा अङ्ग्रेजी अक्षर W ढाँचामा हेर्नुपर्दछ। आफ्नो बारीलाई हेरी किनाराका लाइनहरू छोडी एउटा छेउबाट W ढाँचामा हिँड्ने र W का 5वटा छेउका बिन्दुका स्थानमा 10वटा बिरुवाको रेकर्ड लिनुपर्दछ। प्रत्येक 5 स्थानहरूमा तपाईहरूले 10वटा मकैको बोट निरीक्षण गरी किराका विभिन्न अवस्था र क्षति सङ्केत छैन टिपोट गर्ने। निरीक्षण गर्दा W को पहिलो बिन्दुबाट सुरु गरी क्रमशः सबै बिन्दुमा जाने र सोही अनुसार रेकर्ड राख्ने। तपाईहरूले यो कार्य सबै 5 स्थानमा गर्नुपर्छ। तपाईहरूले गणना गर्नुभएको हरेक बिन्दुमा 10वटाका दरले 50 मकैको बोट मध्ये कतिवटामा किराको उपस्थिति देखियो सो अनुसार नै व्यवस्थापनका उपायहरूबारे निर्णय गरी अवलम्बन गर्नुपर्दछ। त्यसैगरी घुँडा अवस्थादेखि धान चमर नआएसम्मको अवस्थामा 15 बोटमा र धान चमर आएपछिको अवस्थामा 10 बोटमा देखियो भने तुरुन्तै किराको व्यवस्थापनमा लाग्नुपर्दछ। यो किराको व्यवस्थापन एकीकृत शत्रुजीव व्यवस्थापन पद्धति अपनाएर गर्नुपर्दछ। यसको व्यवस्थापनको लागि मकै लगाउनु अघिदेखि नै खेती प्रविधिमा सुधार गर्नुपर्दछ। खोस्टाले पुरै घोगा छोपिने जात लगाउने, सबैले छिटो र सकेसम्म एकै समयमा मकै रोप्ने, कोसेबाली मिश्रित बालीको रूपमा लगाउने, किरा विकर्षणको लागि भटमासे घाँस मकैको बीचमा र आकर्षणको लागि नेपियर घाँस खेत वरिपरि लगाउने र बिरुवालाई स्वस्थ बनाउन उचित मलखाद, गोडमेल तथा सिँचाइ गर्दा यसको प्रकोप कम गर्न सकिन्छ। बिउ रोप्नु अघि इमिडाक्लोप्रिड 48% FS 4 मिलिलिटर प्रति किलो बिउको दरले उपचार गर्दा 3 हप्तासम्मको बोटलाई यो किराको आक्रमणबाट रोक्न सकिन्छ। खेतबारीमा किरा लागिसकेपछि लार्भाको सानै अवस्थामा अण्डाको झुप्पा र साना लार्भाको अवस्थामा टिपेर नष्ट गर्ने। यो किराको परजीवी ट्राइकोग्रामा प्रति रोपनी 5000 सङ्ख्या 2 पटक 15-15 दिनको फरकमा मकै खेतमा छोड्दा व्यवस्थापन राम्रोसँग गर्न सकिन्छ। साना अवस्थाका लार्भालाई जैविक विषादी BT 2 ग्राम वा वनस्पतिमा आधारित एजाडिरेक्टिन निम 1500 ppm EC विषादी 5 मिलिलिटर प्रति लिटर पानीमा मिसाई छर्नुपर्छ। किराहरू बढ्दै गएपछि सिफारिस गरिएका यी विषादीहरू आलो पालो गरी छर्नुपर्छ। स्पाइनेटोराम 11.7 SC 1 मिलिलिटर प्रति 2 लिटर पानीका दरले वा इमामेक्टिन बेन्जोएट 5% SG 1 ग्राम प्रति 2.5 लिटर पानीका दरले वा क्लोरोएन्ट्रा निलिप्रोल 18.5% SC 1 मिलिलिटर प्रति 2.5 लिटर पानीका दरले वा स्पाइनोसाट 45% एससी 1 मिलिलिटर प्रति 3 लिटर पानीका दरले मिसाएर छर्ने वा थायामेथाक्जाम 12.6%, साइहेलोथ्रिन 9.5%, जेडसी 0.5 मिलिलिटर प्रति लिटर पानीको दरले छर्ने। विषादी प्रयोग गर्दा सुरक्षित पहिरन अनिवार्य रूपमा लगाउने। घाँस बालीको रूपमा लगाइएको मकैमा रासायनिक विषादीको प्रयोग नगर्ने। यदि तपाईँ यो किरा नियन्त्रण विधिबारे अझै दोधारमा हुनुहुन्छ भने कृषि प्राविधिक वा यसबारे जानकार भएका व्यक्तिसँग भेटघाट गरी एकीकृत शत्रुजीव व्यवस्थापन बारेमा सल्लाह तथा सहयोग लिनुहोला। अन्तमा के कुराको विषय हेक्का राख्नुहोला भने मकै बालीको जति सक्यो चाँडो निरीक्षण गरी एकीकृत शत्रुजीव व्यवस्थापन पद्धति अपनाउन जरुरी छ। यस्तो किसिमका किराले आक्रमण गरी क्षति पुर्याएको पाइएमा नजिकको नगरपालिका वा गाउँपालिकाको कृषि इकाइ, कृषि ज्ञान केन्द्र, सुपर जोन वा जोनको कार्यालय वा यस केन्द्रमा जानकारी गराई समयमै व्यवस्थापनको लागि सरसल्लाह लिई मकै खेतीको क्षति न्यूनीकरण गर्न हुन अनुरोध गरिन्छ।
Fall armyworm, Spodoptera frugiperda, is a devastating pest of maize crop. This pest is recently being introduced in India and causing huge losses to maize crop. Fall armyworm is a native pest of South America. It's been introduced into Africa a couple of years back, started threatening the food security of African countries. This pest was identified in India in Karnataka state in the month of May 2018. Since then, it started appearing in many places. This Kharif season, this pest is found in thousands and thousands of acres of maize crop in South India. Fall armyworm has a life cycle of 30 days. The adult moth can travel about 100 kilometers in a single flight. An adult female moth can lay about 1000 eggs in a life cycle. Even though there are chemicals recommended to control this pest, but the experiences in South American countries says that this pest has a capacity to develop resistance quickly against any pesticide which is being used. Even though maize crop is a preferred host of all armyworm, it can also affect more than 80 crops. The Indian Council of Agriculture Research had already released a pest alert on fall armyworm. Dr. Ramanaidu Ekalavya Foundation Krishi Vignana Kendra, Tuniki, Medak district in Telangana state, has come up with very simple, effective and innovative solution to manage this pest. The scientists of KVK Medak have tried different non-chemical options like soil, rock dust, charcoal powder, wood ash, Agni Astra, Ipomia concoction, salt, green chili solution, waste decomposer, etc. Among which application of soil in the whorls has given excellent result, followed by application of rock dust, charcoal, wood ash into the whorls. Soil can be directly applied in the whorls and then a little water can be poured. If it is raining, no need to pour water. The other method of application of soil, we can make a thick slurry of soil and it can be poured into the whorls. The next day after application, the activity of the larvae ceases. There were no frost material or excreta found in the whorls. The larvae slowly stops feeding and it will starve and it will die in next 3 or 4 days time. Meanwhile, the affected whorls will recover fast and they can emerge quickly. The youngest leaf will be fresh and healthy. This non-chemical, eco-friendly, simple method of managing fall armyworm gives multiple benefits. It is very cheap and economical for the small and marginal farmers. It will conserve the natural enemy populations in our ecosystems. We can avoid the use of poisonous chemical substances.